eBay's production.
Hello people, eBay's Productions here and welcome to our very first tutorial on FL Studio. So if you're planning on using FL Studio for music production, or you have FL Studio but then you don't know where to start, this is the video for you. Trust me, I'm going to walk you through all the basics and you're going to understand everything in no time. So when you first open FL Studio, you just have this, blank canvas for you to paint your picture of your desired music, right? So let's just go through some of the functions of the knobs here. So first off, up here you have your file, which does basically a file functions of any software, just like your Microsoft and the rest. Save files, import sounds, export. Actually, this is where you export after making your beat. You can export as wave, mp3, or basically any other audio format. You have the add tab where you add instruments, sound libraries and all that. You have pattern. This is where you design maybe your drums or your chords progressions and other things. View, this just brings up other panels, like your playlist panel, your piano roll, and just like this, it pulls up the playlist, right? This pulls up the piano roll, so you just have different view depending on what you're currently working on. And going on, we have the options tab. This is where you do most of your settings, like sound settings, MIDI settings, general settings. So in your MIDI settings for your keyboard and all that, I have like a KeyStation 61A module, so I can either enable or disable it from this setting. The sound setting is where you do more like your audio setting with your sound card. If you click this panel here, you see I've installed so many sound cards in the past and they all reflect here. I'm just going with the basic FL Studio for this tutorial, right? You have many other settings, but we won't go into that for now. Then you come over here, you have the general volume knob of the DAW. Then you have this, which switches between your pattern sequencer and your playlist. Your pattern sequencer most times for me is where I dive into more specific parts of the song, probably like the drums, the chords, the guitars. So if you want to listen to that part, you can listen via the pattern sequencer. So if you press this play button, it plays what is on the pattern sequencer, while if it's on grain, it plays what is on your playlist. Basically, I'll explain the playlist as we go. So this is your play button, stop button, record button, and this is your tempo button, the tempo displayer, where you get to set the tempo of the song. So basically it's at 130. You can either reduce or increase depending on how you want the tempo of the song, how fast or how slow you want it to be. This is your metronome. So if you click this and press play, it will tap according to the number you set in the tempo, right? The beats per minute. If we reduce this, you see the tempo taps slower. So let's go on. I'll just touch a few more buttons. This is wait for input to start playing. Most times I use this when I'm recording and I want my keyboard to trigger the play button, right? So it doesn't record or it doesn't play until I touch a note. So that note serves as a controller for your play, right? This is just a 3 count when you're recording. So if it's on, when you press record, it goes 1, 2, 3, go, and then you start recording, so it gives you some time to prepare. This is overdubs. This is used for when you're recording multiple takes and then you want each of them to blend in. If it's not ticked, if you're recording something else on a pattern that you've already recorded, it will delete the other one and replace it with a new one, right? But having it on just blends everything together. One more thing I want to touch, this typing keyboard makes your laptop keyboard to be like an actual MIDI keyboard, so you can play notes with your laptop keyboard. Let's just skip to this part. this pattern is the name of the pattern sequencer you're currently working on. So we can rename this from maybe pattern 1 to, let's rename it to drums. I can give it a color like red. So that means this pattern sequencer is drums, and we can play our drums here, right? You can create multiple patterns and have them, be a different names. Moving on, this playlist is where we arrange our song. So we can bring in that drums that we've named and put the drums, okay, play 2 bars, skip 1 bar, arrange the drums again, So playlist is where we arrange basically the song from the intro to the verse, chorus, and all that, mapping out, sculpturing the whole piece together happens in the playlist, right? Moving on, we have the piano roll, and this is where you just put in notes, right, or chords, and then you have it play. You can just click with your mouse and put in chords if you don't have a MIDI controller or you want to do it yourself with your hands, right? You have the pattern sequence. I've talked about this earlier. This is what FL Studio was mostly known for in the beginning, because it helps you create drums really fast. You can just drag samples and just turn on the lights, for example, like this. I turn off the lights using a right click, right? We can just turn them on using your left click, and see it won't play because it's on a playlist, so I have to take it to pattern, right? And so simple. I have a 4 count kick there. I can remove all of them. And this is the mixer. So this is where you balance your sounds, like volume wise, or pan them, the whole mixing phase, And then moving on, we have what next? Your plugin picker or browser. It's somewhere here, right? So this is where you can pick sounds from. You can audition your sounds before you pick them for your production, or pick plugins you want to use. You can also pick with this. And this is the tempo tapper. I love to use this when I don't know what particular tempo I want to use, but it kind of just calculates the average of your tempo and gives you the average. So it sets the tempo to 78. If I tap faster, it averages it and gets me to 186, right? So let me bring this back to 100. That's basically all about the basic functions of FL Studio, and I hope to expand more on other features, but we'll take it one episode after the other. If you find this helpful, if you have any questions, please drop them in the comments. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and please turn on the bell of notification so you could be informed when a new video is out. eBase Productions out.
eBase Productions.